Welcome to the Stand-Up One Showcase. Please give an applause for the teacher and host, Jess Bowe.
Hello everyone, how are you doing tonight? Amazing. My name's Jess. I'm the teacher of this class, with this group of wonderful people who I'm assuming you all know here tonight, friends and family. I've been with these folks for I think 7 weeks now, and they've been working really hard. This is going to be their first time doing stand-up ever. Very exciting. So you are required to laugh at everything they say, even if it's not good or interesting, or you still have to support them. Okay. Although everything will be great and interesting and funny. So, but this will be their first time doing it, so also there might be moments where they're like, I don't know what the hell I'm saying, what's next? I don't know what's happening here. So just roll with them, okay? If they black out. Just catch them if they faint into your arms, just embrace them. I'm going to tell a couple of jokes here to warm you guys up, and then I'm going to bring them up. So, I haven't had sex in a little while. Anyone else? Celibate? Yeah! All right. Oh wow, there's a lot. Okay. You 5 were very excited about it for some reason. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I don't know what your story is, man. Interesting. And so you guys know so you'll know what I mean when I say this. So when you haven't had sex in a long time and all forms of physical touch start to feel very different? You know what I'm talking about? Because we don't really touch each other very much, right? Platonically. And so now, I'm at the point now where I haven't been touched in so long that if a friend hugs me goodbye, my entire body vibrates, It's like, what is this sensation? It's remembering intimacy, because it's forgotten. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? When you're on the bus and then somebody bumps into you and you come? You guys know that? When you orgasm on public transportation because you're so alone, you know what I mean? I'm getting excited just by eye contact these days, okay? So all of this, it's making me very wet, all right? I'm getting very turned on right now. It's like an orgy, you're right. That's how the show will end, actually. Did you know that? Did you see that on your ticket when you purchased it? There will be an orgy, required orgy. I'm just kidding, come on! Okay, anyway. What else? I just re-downloaded all of the dating apps onto my phone, every single one of them, and in order to make room for them on my phone, I had to delete a video of my niece walking for the first time. Yeah. Okay, I know some of you are judging me, okay, but in my defense, she's still walking, all right? And she'll continue to for a while, and I'm still alone. These priorities are in check, okay? I'll delete as many videos of children as I need to, okay? To find love. I'll do this and then I'll bring up the crowd. I'm gonna read to you a Tinder message that I received from a man. His name was Jason. I still think about him all the time, okay? It's the one that got away. And you know why? So a little bit of backstory about Jason, okay? He owns a house. Already exciting, but wait for it. He owns a house on Toronto Island. Yes, we all want to fuck Jason, right? Everybody's into Jason. So was I. So the first thing I said to him was, oh my God, can I move into your house on the island, okay? My opening message. Right to business, okay? And he wrote back, sure. That's contractual, right? Do I own a house now? Is that what that means? And then he continued and he wrote, LOL. So close. It's a bit. And then he continued and he wrote, as long as you're not crazy, LOL. Okay? I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking, wow, Jason loves to laugh, right? He's laughed out loud twice in one sentence. This guy thinks I'm hysterical, okay? We're hitting it off. So I responded to him and I said, oops, I am crazy. LOL. Wanted him to know we have that in common. Okay. He responded, LOL. Okay. All right. I responded, let me in, I'm at your house. Okay, and he did not laugh at that, all right? Now I just go to Toronto Island and I'm like, Jason! Jason, where are you? Are you here tonight, Jason? Maybe he's here tonight. Maybe he's one of the people who haven't had sex in a while. Are you Jason? Is this you? Okay. You're into everything I say, eh? You're just into it. You would be great to date, I feel. That's what I need. Someone just supports everything I do. Are you guys ready for the show to begin? All right, the show's gonna be about an hour long. If you do need to use the washroom or anything, you're allowed to leave, and it's just down the hall there. Otherwise, don't get up at all. Stay till the end. It's gonna be a great time. And I'm gonna bring up your first comedian who volunteered to go first, which is I don't know why that's funny, but you know him. He's your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's eager, right? No, he's a great guy. He said that's very brave of him, and he's so funny. So please welcome to stage the hilarious Reza Ahmed. How's everyone doing tonight? Ready to hear some at least pretty good jokes, I hope. So I've come to the realization that the problem with sending dick pics is they're very low effort. No, really, think about it. All you do, you take your pants off, take your underwear off, pull your smartphone out, and send. Easy peasy. But I mean, isn't the true value of a gift to any person proportionate to the amount of thought and actual effort you put in that gift? Right? And I gotta think, before the ease of inventions like the smartphone or even photography in general, there must have been far more high-effort dick pics in play. I'm thinking there must have been things like dick paintings, dick sculptures, dick tapestries. And with this in mind, I for one think it is time for an artistic renaissance. A testicular renaissance, if you will. So ladies, I would expect in the not so distant future, instead of receiving low-effort dick pics, instead you'll receive largely exaggerated 3D printed dicks in the mail. And for you guys out there who are, less artistically inclined, I get it, it's cool. I'm thinking you could just send her an NFT of your dick. That way, instead of disappointing her once, you can really stand up from the crowd by disappointing her a second time when she sells the NFT for a loss 6 months later. Thank you. I found that I'm incredibly awkward at parties. I never really know what to say, which is coincidentally how I'm feeling at this very moment. So to sound interesting, what I've been doing is I've been coming up with fun, pre-made, but true stories, makes me sound cool. So for example, when the British colonized Africa, they were getting malaria many years ago. I know, super fun topic for a comedy show. But yeah, when they colonized Africa, they were getting malaria. So right now, fun fact, if you were to go to the doctors and you were worried about getting malaria wherever you were going, the doctors would prescribe something to you called quinine, or quinine tablets. Now, as it just so happens, there's trace amounts of quinine in tonic water. Get into the joke, just roll with me on this. So the British would bring tonic water with them on their expeditions to Africa. But tonic water with high amounts of quinine in it has a very bitter taste. So the British would add gin to the tonic, and that's how we got gin and tonic. So, whenever I'm at a party, people are like, Raza, you're drinking way too much. I'd be like, I'm not drinking too much, I'm fighting malaria. And sometimes I'll even add a little drop of lemon in there, and say I'm fighting scurvy as well. The economy, I'm just jumping around here. This is the best. You should have seen the worst stuff.
So in this complicated, super complicated economy that we're in, we're experiencing something that economists call shrinkflation. Yeah, I'm sure you all came tonight to learn about Economics 101, right? So the way it works is, essentially, companies are quite literally shrinking down the size or quantity of the products that they sell to us, while keeping the price the same or many times increasing it. And while it's super unfair for you all to pay more while getting less actual product, I for one think there is one industry that should totally lean into this whole shrinkflation trend. Just hear me out. I'm thinking condom companies. Okay, just imagine if Durex or Trojan were to take their extra large condoms and under the pretext of rising latex costs, shrink those condoms down. Now imagine you on a hot date, you bring her back to your place. Instead of pulling out the regular size condom, you pull out the extra large size condom, and it actually fits. I mean, you wouldn't be any bigger, but your self-esteem would. In my many years of being alive, I've started to realize there is a really, really fine line between complimenting someone's physical appearance and harassment, right? I mean, on the one hand, I want to express my interest in her. On the other hand, I don't want to come off as a creep either, right? So my opening move has been to compliment your teeth. My thinking is, everyone likes having good teeth. And, it's pretty hard to sexualize teeth, I would think. So I often see things like, hey, Jennifer, nice enamel. I can tell you have good jaw genetics. Kudos. Or my personal favorite, 9 out of 10 dentists agree that you are a total smoke show. But sad to say, I'm doing this for a while, and it has not really been working out. I wasn't really sure why, until I recently learned that it's actually, a super common trope for serial killers to fixate on their female victims' teeth. That means this whole time, all these women just straight up thought I was trying to collect their teeth. That's ridiculous though, okay? I collect their straight hairs like a normal person. All right, everyone, it's been great seeing you all. You all have wonderful teeth. Best teeth I've ever seen in my entire life. Great teeth.
How good was that, eh? First time? Can you believe that? Yeah. All right, we got our next act coming up here, and I think she's got a lot of friends in the audience who are in costume for the most part. I would say you guys look fun. Please welcome to the stage the very hilarious Christine Linda.
Yeah, setting expectations. Hi. Hi, everybody. My name is Christine, and I'm available. Just want to put that out there right off the top. I'm not exactly single. My relationship status is a little bit complicated at the moment. I'm getting divorced. You can clap for that. It's a good thing. Yeah, I'm getting divorced. I'm also bi and I'm poly. So basically right now, I'm dating or fucking everybody. Just everybody. Probably at least 3 people in this room. Or any room. Yeah, I'm doing what everybody assumed my ex-husband was going to do, but instead he immediately jumped into another serious long-term committed relationship. Which I guess that's its own straight man divorce cliche. I'm currently living a very different straight man divorce cliche. I'm dating a 24-year-old Hooters waitress. Feminism. Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend's really excited for my divorce to be finalized. That way she can, like, legally be allowed to date me. But I don't know, I'm a little bit sad about it because I really enjoy calling her my mistress. There's just something fun about that. But yeah, dating everybody is a bit complicated. It's hard work. At least I always have an excuse to keep my apartment clean. But yeah, it was starting to turn into kind of a full-time job, and one of my actual jobs is as a bookkeeper. So I did the very sane and logical thing, and I made myself a dating spreadsheet. Yeah, just to like keep track of everything that's going on. You know, I move people around to different categories, upcoming dates, you know, potential dates. I keep track of all their key info, their age, their jobs, where we met. And I, you know, give them like identifiers and nicknames, like there's Rich Brian and Hipster Clark, and wanted to split 4 fish tacos and then ate 3, leaving me with 1, Riley. Or bragged about his sexual proficiency and then couldn't get it up, Jamie. You know, just like general things to remember them by. But yeah, recently the spreadsheet got me into a bit of trouble because I showed a couple of my friends, and then I fucked them. And now they're on it. Yeah, I guess I didn't think that like my neurotic organizational skills would be a turn on, but I guess I have to be a little more careful who I show the spreadsheet to. So who wants to see it? Yeah, but of course I was gonna fuck my friends. Everyone should fuck their friends. Like, my friends are hot. I have great taste in friends. I have terrible taste in men. Slightly better taste in women, but I think that's just because I'm a bit more selective with women. I only recently came out as bi, so I only recently started dating them. Which is also crazy because I've known forever that I was attracted to women. But because I always dated men and I married a man, I just thought it didn't count. Gay imposter syndrome, it's a real thing. But yeah, I very much should have come out sooner. Like, I was the co-president of my high school's gay-straight alliance. I've literally never missed a pride. I cuff my jeans. And in high school, I made out with every single one of my female friends. So yeah. I mean, that last one I thought I was doing for male attention, but I still did it in dark basements with absolutely no guys around. Yeah, for attention. Even my first time having sex with a girl was in a threesome, so I still thought, like, maybe I'm just into this because it's turning him on. Like, yeah, I like touching her to turn him on. You know, maybe I just care so much about your pleasure, guy, that I'm going to completely destroy this pussy. Yeah. Yeah, also, like, my sexual awakening was a girl. She was animated, but still counts. Yeah, my first time ever feeling turned on was watching the movie Aladdin. Specifically, Jasmine in Aladdin, in that end scene when she's wearing the red and she's pretending to be in love with Jafar, and she like stands up off the ground and this like silky piece of fabric falls off her shoulder and she walks towards him and like grabs his face and kisses him. It was hot. It was seriously hot. Disney used to be hot. It's gotten so PG lately. But yeah, how many people here have been like horny for a cartoon character at some point in time? Thank you. We don't have liars in the crowd. Yeah, like my ideal body type is Pixar mom. Yeah, the animators know what they're doing. Like, they knew what they were doing with like Ariel Seashell Bra, with Lola Bunny from Space Jam. If you're gay, Shigo from Kim Possible. Yeah. Even like adult Nala. Like, I've had some very non-family friendly feelings towards her. But yeah, my ex-husband was very straight. Just a very, you know, straight man. Very vanilla, very straight. Wasn't really interested in like opening things up or experimenting. His spice level was mild. But he also really loved UFC. Which is the gayest thing in the world. Yeah, how many people UFC? I mean, I probably should have asked that question before I called it the gayest thing in the world. Because now if you cheer, you're basically telling me that you like gay porn. Which, like, it's cool. I also like gay porn, so, you know, we're good there. But yeah, it's basically, you know, all the, like, grappling and grunting. It's just two tops battling for dominance. And, like, I've legit heard a ref tell a guy to stop pinching another guy's nipples. So, sometimes they just like lie on the floor and hold each other. I mean, that's kind of sweet. I kind of like that part. But yeah, next time you're watching UFC, I just want you to mute it, dim the lights, put on a little mood music, a little bounce, and tell me you don't feel super fucking gay. Like me. I'm Christine. That's my time. Thank you so much.
Oh my god, she's having so much sex. You don't relate to that at all. You're like, I don't understand a single part of this joke. Polly, multiple people, can't get one. Sorry, I'm projecting onto you because you're looking so funny. Anyway, all right, we're gonna bring up your next act. You guys ready? Oh my God, he is so funny, and you're gonna love him. Please welcome to the stage, Isa Keramati.
All right, what's up? How's everyone doing? I'm extremely excited to be here. I know my face doesn't show that, but this is my extremely excited face to be here. So, the other day I was walking down the street with one of my friends, and we noticed a lemonade stand. This kid had a lemonade stand, and we were like, okay, let's grab a cup of lemonade. So we went up there, and I was like, hey kid, how much for a cup of lemonade? And he was like, $5. I was like, holy shit, $5? Is that what kids are charging these days? And I was like, what is this, like cold pressed juice? Is this some sort of Colombian, you know, juice and a little bit of cocaine in it? I would get to that. So I thought to myself, yeah, like I know economy's bad and inflation, but that has nothing to do with this kid, right? This kid's not paying Toronto rent. Like, $5? So I thought, like, back in my days, like, we used to charge him, like, 50 cents for a cup. He would give us a pat on the head, and we would also sing him a song, like, and then with that 50 cents, we would go and buy these things called toys, which are going extinct these days. I don't know if you know, and no kids are playing with toys these days. And then I thought, well, it makes sense, because nowadays, these kids have to buy their own streaming and gaming setup to go on Twitch and stream. So yeah, it makes sense. They gotta charge $5 for that. And as we were walking, my friend was like, I noticed that you never support any small local businesses. How's that? I was like, what do you mean I don't support? I do support small local businesses. For starters, I go to this local coffee shop right by my house to get coffee, and also therapy, because I go there. Every time I talk to the barista, I gotta know them, and I talk about how shitty my day was. And they provide this different perspective, and I can like deal with my shit every time. Also, secondly, I bought all this stuff that I use on a daily basis from this Mississauga warehouse, and I know it's owned by Amazon, but it's pretty local to Mississauga, right? And lastly, I subscribe to my neighbor's OnlyFans account. Like, it can't get any more local than that. Like sometimes I'm in my living room and I can literally see them doing things and recording, and I'm like, ooh, next episode coming up. And sometimes as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, so that's what they were doing when I was watching Naruto? Sick. But yeah, like COVID has brought up some interesting people, and one of my favorites are the anti-vaxxers. And again, I was walking down the street, and I'm always walking down the street, I don't have a life. And I hear somebody screaming in the back, like, sir, sir, sir. I turn around, I'm like, holy shit, what is it? And this woman comes up to me and is like, sir, the Holy Spirit guided me to come up to you and tell you and talk to you about these COVID injections. Have you got any of these? You know, that's pretty bad for you. Like, it changes your genetics and all of that. And as she's saying that, I'm looking and I notice she has a bag. And I see some of those like frozen, no-frills burritos in there. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like thinking to myself, this one is like pretty concerned about what we all put in our bodies. And I'm pretty sure those no-frills frozen burritos have like 5 different diseases. You know? I can bet for sure that's where the monkeypox thing came from. Like those frozen no-frills burritos, that's where it came from. And she goes talking about how, yeah, sir, these vaccines, these mRNA vaccines change your genetic formation, it changes your blood, and you no longer have the blood of Christ. And you know, if you don't have the blood of Christ, you ain't going to heaven. And I think to myself, hold on a minute, I have the blood of Christ? Wait a minute, where did this come from? And then I think to myself, what's so interesting about this is that you're telling me that they have medical labs by the gates of heaven. You go there, you give blood, and also we're dead. What kind of blood? What the fuck? And then they take your blood, and they test it to see if you're JC positive. They let us in. Yeah, and she goes on talking about how these vaccines are creating an army of mindless zombies that are going to go up against Christ and defeat him. And I'm thinking to myself, this is shockingly interesting. Like, if I could just like record all this and go write a sci-fi book, I'll be trending. Or even like if she had invested the time she's put into convincing people not to get the vaccine to like writing a book, well, she would be famous by now. She would be the next George R.R. Martin, right? Yeah, so who here is a nerd? Yeah, that's great. I'm also a nerd, and I fucking hate that. Let me tell you why. So I hate this trend, this thing that people go about saying, oh, nerds are sexy, nerds are attractive, I want to date a nerd. I'm like, no, you don't. That's not how it is. Like, you don't want to date a nerd. Girls always want their nerds in a specific way. They want them to be like this smart guy, like with a high IQ, like so smart they can like own their own business and be like rich, and so rich that they have investments in crypto, and also be handsome, you know, those quirky, cute, handsome guys like Andrew Garfield. And I'm like, I'm no British Spider-Man. Like I have no game. Like I can't do this. And then I love to date a nerdy girl. I don't know if you know about this, but if you're a nerd, you always have that fantasy. I know. Well, let me go. Just go with it. And then you always have this fantasy when you're like, oh, I'm gonna go out with this nerdy girl. And then we start hitting it off. We go back to my place. We start making out, and I'm getting some bounce kabow action. And then we start role playing. And like I'm guessing like the role play goes something like, oh, Obi-Wan. Get in there, that the forces with that tongue. Keep licking that Padawan of mine. Or like my favorite is this one where she's standing there with a robe, a pointy hat, and a staff, and a long white beard. And I'm like, take it, Gandalf, take it, I'm giving it to you, take it. And she goes like, oh, no, I must not take it. Don't tempt me, and you shall not pass. Unless you give me the head. Yeah, I know, I'm always talking about giving head. I probably have to talk to my barista about this. But, yeah, so the other scenario is that you sometimes see these nerdy guys dating these non-nerdy cheerleader type girls, and everybody's like, what the fuck happened there? Like, how did that happen? Like, what do you see in him? Like, literally, what do you see in this? And then I'm like, no, it's explainable. They keep dating, and it reaches a stage where she invites him over to meet the parents, and I'm guessing like I'm the nerdy guy in this scenario, and I go there, and the girl's like, Issa, this is my dad, Steve, that I told you about, PhD in nuclear physics, and he's a well-known professor. And he goes like, oh, my daughter says you're a nerd. Do you want to see my Stormtrooper collection? Do you want to go cosplay with me at Comic-Con? And I'm like, oh, I figured it out now. She has daddy issues. And I'm like, oh, it makes sense now. She basically is trying to fix the relationship she never had with her father by giving back to the nerd community. But that's it, everyone, for me. Thank you.
Alright, we're gonna keep the show on a rolling here. This next person, oh my god, you're gonna love him so much. He's absolutely, I know something about everyone, but it's true, they're all pretty good, right? So please welcome to the stage, Aaron Cowan!
Thank you. She does say that about all of us. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm the actually exchange student for our class. I come from the far-off nation of Hamilton. Yeah. So I'm the charity case here that is funded, especially for this comedy show. But yeah, I just want to check in. How's everyone doing? Having a good night? Looking good, feeling good, having a good time. Yeah. I'm doing okay. I'll be honest with you. Just okay. It's not a big deal, but I had an Egg McMuffin this morning, and it didn't really agree with my system very well. See, I'm getting older. I'm almost 42, and I'm just finding increasingly so I can't really eat a lot of fast food anymore. Oh, yeah, it's the last time I went to Taco Bell, I think I was 25, and I remember I thought I was being all healthy by ordering a bean burrito. Well, that thing just slid down my throat and shot right out my ass. I was off work for a week. It was really bad. Oh, God, but you know what? Some cities aren't even allowed to have Taco Bells. Did you know that? Yeah, it's true. It's because every city has its own food standard quality rating, and and Montreal just recently upgraded theirs from an F to a D, which meant that they had to shut down all of their Taco Bells. Check the news; it's totally true. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're probably thinking, well, then Toronto's food rating must be an F, right? But no. Actually, Hamilton's food rating is an F. Yeah, you guys are a G. Yeah, it's true. And do you want to know why? 2 words. Spadina McDonald's. That's why. Yeah. But you know what, is there anything worse than a guy from Hamilton coming to Toronto and making fun of you and your food? I can't think of anything worse than that. I mean, as far as you guys are concerned, I'm probably the product of a coked out steelworker and a Barton Street whore. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And here I am in your Danforth village making fun of your trash food. So I'm actually surprised you're still laughing. But I'm actually just totally kidding. Toronto is a beautiful city. You have really nice parks, lots of interesting architecture and world-renowned festivals. The only thing, it's not a really big deal, but the only thing I would criticize Toronto for is the people. Specifically all of them. But speaking of Barton Street whores, I'm a teacher. Yeah. Do we have some teachers here tonight? Yeah, all right. I knew that we could get a few of you out on a Saturday night. It's really tough these days for new teachers for the interview process, I've heard. I've been around for a little while, but when you're interviewing for a teaching job now, they make you memorize all this edubabble and jargon, all this slang, and when really the only document that any teacher needs to memorize is the don't touch children or steal money from the school and you can never get fired policy. And we all try to adhere to that one the best that we can. But I was actually hired 16 years ago to my teaching job, and my interview at the time was the easiest interview anyone could ever have. Basically what happened was the principal that was hiring for a new teacher hated the person that they had in so much that they would just basically take anyone, even if they weren't that qualified, right? So of course I heard about this opportunity, and so I go to the interview. This is what happens. So the principal sits me down and she says, okay, Aaron, listen, we have this teacher in right now and she's like totally crazy, okay? This is one of the things that she did that we hated so much. If we were to hire you, what would you do? And I thought to myself really long and hard, and I thought, oh, what would I possibly do? And I looked her square in the eye and I said, well, I guess I would do the opposite. That's really good, thank you very much. And she wrote it all down. And I was, oh, good, I'm really on to a roll here. So she asked me 3 questions like that, and for every single one, I just said the opposite of what she said that she hated, and I got the job. It was great. I know. And it was actually like pretty easy too. Like, for instance, one of the things was that the teacher would show South Park and Family Guy's episodes in class, and then I thought, well, I'll just like make a lesson plan. Or then the teacher, she was like sleeping in her car during a prep period, and sometimes she would end up coming to class late, and her hair would be all matted, and she had crusty eyes, and I just like slept and bathed at home. It was pretty easy. Oh, and then there was this other thing I totally forgot. She also banged the caretaker on the staff room table, and I just like didn't do that. So no problem. Still have my job. Teaching is really easy in that way. But the one thing that I do have a really hard time with as a teacher is making small talk with my principal. Like I get like really awkward and everything. And over the years I've been a teacher, I've had 6 different principals. And one of them made me feel really uncomfortable because I guess she wanted to be like really like cool with me, and she wanted to be like my fag hag. So she would like trap me in the main office with all these people around, and she'd say something innocent to me like, hey Aaron, how are you doing? And she'd always then turn it into something that's like sexualized. So she'd be like, hey Aaron, how are you doing? And I go, oh, I'm okay, like I'm just like kind of tired, I was up all night. And she'd be like, I bet you were. And I'd like look around at everybody and like, okay. And she would do it all the time. Like she'd be like, Aaron, how are you? I'd be like, I'm hot. She's like, I bet you are. I'm thirsty. I bet you are. That's a nice car. I bet you are. Like sometimes it didn't even make any sense. And every single time I think to myself, God, like, I wish I could just throw a fiery comeback at her, you know, but she's my boss. I'm in the main office and there's kids all over the place and the secretary's looking at me. I can't do anything. So I would just be like, Judy, that's like really funny. You got me again. Good one. But what I really wanted to say was the opposite. Which was, oh, you bet I was up all night because I was fucking your father. I'm Aaron. Thank you very much.
Oh, great. Okay, we're gonna keep the show on and rolling here. This next gal is so funny. So funny, so hilarious. Can you imagine if I didn't say that about one of them? That would be so weird. You're gonna love her. You're gonna fall in love with her. Everybody does. Please welcome to the stage, Arena Boo.
Oh, you guys are so cute. My name's Arana. I'm also available, by the way. So, my mom is a typical Asian parent who likes to compare her kids with other creatures. So she'll say stuff like, you know, the girl Xiao Wei from your class? She doesn't have to pee every 5 minutes during piano practice, and she practices like 20 hours a day. I'd be like rolling my eyes thinking, God, I hate Xiao Wei. And I also feel really bad for her parents because they must be really bored. Like, what's the fun of being a parent if you don't want to beat up your child? now that I'm older, she starts saying stuff like, look, my friend's a grandma now, like, and then she will look at me like, when do I get to be one? I was like, Mom, you have to stop comparing me with people who have kids. You must compare me with people who have boyfriends first. So I get so frustrated sometimes by being compared. So I go to my grandma's and cry to her. And she'd be like, you poor thing. You go home and tell your mom, your aunt never does that. Anyways, I'm a consultant now. Yay! In order to be a good consultant, you have to be good at acting. I know I come off as, nice and sweet. Yes, you are! But deep down, I'm a total mean bitch. I refer to my friend's boyfriend, the man you're dating, and they've been together for like 2 years. And I'd ask her, how was your anniversary dinner with the man? Like, yeah, whatever. Like, when you're dumping him, actually. I also, always make sure my friends look uglier than me in photos. So I'd play with the lighting, the position, and ask them to tuck their neck so they look like a pig standing in the dark. And then I would swoop in and looking fabulous. Another thing that I do is when the conversation gets really heated, I feel really overwhelmed. I don't know what to say, so I just silently hang up. And then later on send a message, oops, phone died. Being a working professional is really difficult, especially for women. Because if we're friendly, men would think we're flirting. I'd go like, hey, good morning, Gray. And he'd probably thinking, good morning, you want to be part of my morning? Or if I gave a sum up reaction to their comment, they'd be like, nice. Does she want to lend me a hand? Or even worse, if I nod. Yeah, like that. Boy, oh boy, they'll just kill them. You can sense the flirting energy coming through your computer screen. I have no sense of direction. Do you have any idea how difficult it is for me to take the subway in Toronto? Like, what's up with this northbound, eastbound? But nevertheless, I still get asked for directions. I could direct 4 people towards 4 directions for the same location. Still feeling content, because I know at least one of them will make it. When I'm on a date, I always ask my date, where are we going? Are we on the right path? And you will see my date starting to freak out. He'd be like, what? Oh, this is our first date. It started going really fast for me. And I'd be like, relax. I'm just asking if we're on the right path to the zoo. I only go on 2 types of dates. A date with a man and a date with a PhD. Dating a PhD is like dating a bear. They're really smart, but they're just not romantic. So this guy took me to a strip club once, and he bought us a lap dance. He was like asking me, if this is romantic, that we're getting a lap dance from this woman. I was like, not really, for me at least, because if I want to be turned on by a woman, why would I go out with you? Another PhD that I went on a date with, he spent the entire evening talking about how he makes orange chicken. Very methodical guy. And he's probably thinking, I would be so impressed by his doctorate degree in orange chicken. That I must fall in love with him right there. But the entire time I was just thinking, like, why are you teaching me about my own damn culture? And orange chicken is not even authentic Chinese food. But if you haven't tried it, highly recommend it. This is Arana. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Ryan, everybody! Making sure the next comedian is here. Are you here? What are you looking for? All right. Okay, guys, are you ready for your next comic? Oh my god, I've never said a name this long in my life before, and I'm very excited to say it, okay? Please welcome stage the absolutely hilarious, so funny, so amazing, Vivian Martin N.A. the Third!
Hi guys. My name is Vivian Martin Ennie III. Let me repeat that. Vivian Martin Ennie III. Growing up, I could barely pronounce that name. And it didn't help that I had a slight speech impediment. So I tried saying my middle name, Martin, but it would come out as Mountain. What kind of black hillbilly do I look like? People must have thought my parents looked at scenery and were like, let's name him Mountain. We'll name his sister Buckwheat. And we'll name the cat Cotton. And I still haven't addressed the fact that my name is Vivian. How many of you probably thought that's a girl's name? Do I look like a girl? The funny thing is, whenever I'm getting introduced to someone's boyfriend, they're like, oh, Vivian's coming. And people think I'm a small Asian woman. And then my black ass shows up. The boyfriends are always like, wait. All this time you were hanging out with Vivian? And this is Vivian? And I'm like, yeah, brother. It was me who went with her to the bachelorette party. It was me who was on the phone with her up till 4 a.m. last night complaining about your jackass. But still, okay, I gotta address the fact. Vivian, why Vivian? So, my grandpa, he was Vivian Godwin Ennie the First. Wait, Dr. Vivian Godwin Ennie the First. My dad is Vivian Richard Ennie the Second. And I'm Vivian Martin Ennie the Third. Vivian is a unisex name, Leslie or Courtney or whatever. And so I asked my dad, even knowing that it transcends all time, I asked him, why did you name me Vivian knowing that people teased you? And he was like, you must suffer as I have suffered. You must know the pain that I knew when everyone thinks you're a small Asian woman. It's kind of similar to student debt forgiveness. He suffered, I suffered. This is generational trauma. So, I'm in the dating scene now, right? And people always ask me, how is it dating black? Because there's all these stereotypes going around, right? And so I like to do the opposite of it. So I tell people, I'm never late. I've got a micro penis. I get paid just as much as a white man. And I love the police! Okay, I may have lied about that. I got a big dick, and the police hate that. They're so jealous. Why do you think they came up with the phrase stop and frisk? They knew I was packing. Alright, so, as you can see, I'm doing a lot of dating. So I know a few of my friends. I got this one friend, this Asian friend named Paquin, and he's trying to get into the dating scene too. But he's not that good. So I thought I'd help him out. Why is it that I now have 5 dating apps on my phone with his login credentials? This is like some kind of broke-ass rush hour. He's Jackie Chan, I'm Chris Evans. Come on! What the fuck? Don't stop! Don't stop! Here you get it, come on! And the hard thing is, he's very picky, despite having no skills at dating. He's like, can't be too short, can't be too tall, she's not blonde enough. And then here's the bad thing. I gotta sometimes talk to these girls and be like, hey Samantha, yes Paquin? I'm not Paquin. What? I'm actually a black man playing an Asian man named Mountain. Like some black hillbilly. But the thing is, you think this wouldn't go well. I'm actually friends with some of them. It's because I wasn't scamming them for money. I was doing it for the friendship. I'm an ethical catfisher. Thanks, guys. That's my time.
Amazing. All right, we got 2 comedians left. Okay, this next guy, oh man, is he funny? Oh man, is he so funny and so hilarious. Please welcome to the stage, Jamie Hoffing!
Nice, like that. Anyways, I am really excited to be here with all of you. I'm even more excited that Blink-182 is back and touring, right? It is making me feel a little bit old though. Like, what are they calling this tour? Like the Dr. Scholl's Orthopedic Vans Warped Tour? Like, brought to you by the official drink Pedialyte? Like, you know, like in the audience, there's gonna be a couple of guys in the crowd when they get into what's my age again, going like, what is my age again? But then there's gonna be that like couple, that married couple that bonded during, like in high school, like when the encore starts and it's stayed together for the kids, and they're like, should we? So, recently read in the news that Generation Z wants to cancel the thumbs up emoji in the workplace. They believe it to be hostile and passive aggressive. Like, these aren't the same people that respond to any criticism of somebody older than 35 with, okay, boomer. But you know, I don't want to disparage the youth. They have solved the mental health crisis through the power of TikTok. I'm not sure how many of you have self-diagnosed yourself with a mental illness by watching somebody on a video do this. So TikTok has diagnosed me with ADHD. But there's a catch. Because I tell everybody I meet that I have undiagnosed ADHD, but then I told my mother, and my mother loves to like throw life grenades at me, like no matter like the time, place, or state I'm on. So I bring this up to her, and she's like, oh yeah, you have ADHD, you were diagnosed as a kid. Like, I just didn't want to put you on the drugs. I'm like, what? Like my life could have been so much better. Like, I could have got good grades, controlled my emotions, microdosed on meth. So I've been gaining some weight. It's probably because I got out of a toxic narcissistic relationship. Sounds like people have been through the crazy. Yeah, when you're in one of those crazy relationships, let me tell you, you are in the best mental and physical shape of your life. Right? First, you're getting a PhD in emotional analytics due to all the mood swings and gaslighting. Second, you're like sparring like you're Floyd Mayweather, like, because like hands and objects are coming at you. And then you're at your peak strength and conditioning from all the makeup hate sex that you're having. Fuck, I miss it. Yeah, so that was probably an overshare. Yeah, so I've had some bad relationships, but some very interesting breakups. I recommend don't break up in rush hour traffic. So I was driving this girl home one day, and I knew this relationship probably wasn't the one because she literally had the words "your name" tattooed on her lower back. And so we're dead stopped in 4 lanes of traffic, and we're having an argument. And at one point, I just say like, "This is over. Like, I'm just gonna drop you off at home, and we're just calling it quits." And she's like, "Don't worry about it." So she like gets out of the car and like slams the door and proceeds to like go to the sidewalk. I'm pissed because she got the last word. So traffic starts up again, and like I hit the gas, but only to brake within 10 feet. Now I have her on the sidewalk, walking, with a shit-eating grin going like, "Bitch." And I'm stuck in traffic going, "Fuck." So she bested me on that one, so kudos to her. But another time, it was a good relationship. It just wasn't gonna get to great. And so I thought it was fair to just like break up. So my plan was go to her apartment and just stand there and be direct and just say like, "We need to talk." Right? Yeah. So, however, I walk into her apartment. She's standing there literally out of the shower naked with just a towel on, beaming because I walked into the room. And I just have to say it, like, just, "We need to talk." And she's like, "Yeah, right? It's sad." And she's like, "Oh, okay, well, let me put some clothes on then." So I go to the couch and wait for her to choose her breakup outfit. And like my anxiety's starting to get like grow, like her dog's looking at me going like, "I know what you're about to do." And so she comes out, we're having the talk, and you know what, it's just, my hand's on my chest, my stomach. It's kind of emotional and unsettling, like just standing up here. And so, you know what, she agreed, we both agreed to go our separate ways. So then, as though we're saying our final goodbyes, and we're just like standing there, and it's just an emotional moment. She says the most like thoughtful and courteous thing you could say in that moment, and she's like, "Do you have to poo?" Anyways, I'm Jamie. Thank you so much.
All right, we got one last act, and I love that everyone's enthusiastic and having conversations with the comedians. Like that's what this is, but it's not a conversation. So I'm just being a jerk right now because someone's got to be the jerk, and so please don't talk unless they talk to you. Don't talk, okay? There was one lady that was like, "No, you're an asshole." console on that. And I was like, okay, you're not the comedian, so, zip it. Anyway, what the fuck up? Anyway, so just, I know that you guys love hearing about toxic relationships and want to scream at the top of your lungs on it, which is nice. But yeah, cool. We have one comedian. I just don't want anyone talking through his set unless he speaks to you, okay? Let's do an example of that. Hey, had any sex lately?
Oh yeah.
You just said, oh yeah? 2 minutes ago? Are you attacking me right now? I thought we had a whole thing. Okay. Anyway, so that's a perfect example of a great audience member. That's the star of the evening here in the corner. All right, everybody, I'm going to bring up your last comedian of the night. Are we excited? Okay, please welcome to the stage the hilarious, the funny Adam Sprout.
Hello. So when your friend is dating someone new and they clinically cannot stop talking about them? Like, they just keep talking and talking about how Greg or whoever is working at his dad's law office for now, but that's really just a side gig until his startup takes off. Or about how Greg says that UFC NFTs are really undervalued, and for only a small investment in his startup, he can get you in on the ground floor. And about how you can trust Greg with your hard-earned cash because he was one of Jordan Peterson's first Patreon subscribers, and so he knows the next big thing when he sees it. Well, I'm sort of like that friend. Like, I can't stop talking about my boyfriend, and my friends are tired of hearing about it. But you've all paid $10 to be here, so you are in my trap. And don't even bother trying the doors, because I did remember to lock them. Trapper 101, consider the doors. Then again, Trapped 101, don't trust the trapper. My boyfriend is from Brazil, which is kind of cool. Before him, I dated like 5 Asian guys in a row, which caused this sort of running debate in my head that was like, coincidence or disturbing racial fetish. And it bothered me, because just like I don't want to be some white power gay who's not into Asian guys at all, I also don't want to be into them to like a problematic extent. Like, I don't want to be that creepy white guy whose tattoo is in Chinese characters for no reason, and who has a decorative katana mounted on his bedroom wall. Like, I don't want to be a white guy who's learning a new language so that he can read his hentai in the original Japanese. If you don't know, hentai is like animated Japanese porn, like tentacle porn and stuff. So if you're sitting with someone who laughed at that joke, you just learned something new about them. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that if attraction to Asian men is like a delicious porridge, like a sexual kanji, if you will, I want to be the Goldilocks to that porridge. Like, I want to enjoy it, but to a moderate and morally acceptable degree. By the way, the tattoo artist I mentioned will tell the creepy white guy that the Chinese characters mean harmony and strength, but they actually mean pale devil. Another fun fact about my boyfriend is that before moving to Canada, he used to be a model. This fact is mainly fun for me sexually. I was initially a bit self-conscious about dating a model, but it's worked out really well for us because I do have a fetish for symmetrical faces, and he has a kink for dating down. I do really look up to my boyfriend though. Like, when you first meet him, he seems like this insane, manic, extraordinary twink. But when you get to know him, you realize that he's just an ordinary twink in extraordinary circumstances. Like, he came to Canada when he was 19 with nothing but the $400 in his pocket, and now 10 years later, he's working full-time as a PSW, a personal support worker, while going to school full-time to be a nurse. So of course he's a little crazy. Like, I get it. I'm sure we all get it. Like, we've all been through tough times. Like, I was once waitlisted for admission to Harvard. I'm sure some of you have been to prison or lost your house in a fire or whatever. My point is that we all have our own Harvard waitlist. My boyfriend works in a hospital, which makes him a frontline hero. And that's cool, you know, but it also raises some red flags because a frontline job is never a good job. Like, the problem with being on the front lines is that the thing on the other side of the line is always a bad thing. Like, that's why they have the line. Like, back in the day, if you were on the front lines, you were fighting the Nazis. Today, it's obviously the pandemic, and also Nazis. Like, maybe if you're lucky, you're on the front lines in a fight against something a bit less threatening, like canine diabetes or the French. But even then, it's not ideal. Like, no one has ever been on the front lines of a Lizzo concert. That's a front row situation, which is completely different. And that's why, you know, in my view, in my humble opinion, you don't want to be on the front lines. You at least want to be on a subsequent line, if not out of the whole line paradigm altogether. Now, I'm not saying that I don't like frontline heroes. Like, I respect them, I honor them. I let one of them steal all the blankets, even though he was like, hey babe, can we turn on the air conditioner? My point is that I don't want to be a frontline hero. Like, and I think a lot of us, if we're honest, am a frontline NIMBY, you know? Like, we're the Cabbagetown Residents Association and they're the safe injection site. Like, we want someone to be doing this work, but we want it to be someone else. But just because I don't want to be a frontline hero doesn't mean I can't be an ally. Like, at the start of the pandemic, I'd go out along with everyone else and bang my pots and pans at 7:30, even though that was like prime time for using them to cook. And each night I go to my window and I turn on my little heart-shaped hero lamp that I bought on ourglowinghearts.ca for $189, comforted in the knowledge that a portion of the proceeds will go to the owners of that website. And then I wave goodnight to my boyfriend from across the room because I can't be too careful with the shit he brings home from work. And then I sleep like a little baby. Thank you.
That was the show. Are you doing a good time? Let's have all the students come back up on stage quickly and we're going to applaud for them once more. You guys want to come up? You can come in through the middle, you can come in through the door, whatever you want. Come on, where are you? Come on up. Get out your cameras. Oh my god, look at this outfit. Alright, who are we missing? Is Adam back here? We're missing one. Issa left?
Oh, he left for the Halloween party.
Oh, fuck him. Okay. Alright, we're gonna give it up for everybody. Let's give it up for Jay! Thank you so much. You guys have been an amazing audience. Yeah, I'll move up to the side. You guys want to take photos here? I don't need to be in this. I'm in many photos. If you want to sign up for a class, you should do too. Is anyone interested in doing stand-up for the first time? Wow, not that many. Okay. All right. Anyway, it's really fun to do, and I'm so proud of these guys. They've been an amazing class, and it sounds like they have a lot of amazing friends and family. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.